Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today's episode is called Not Caring How You Feel. So last night I went along to an event in Leeds that was a speaking event. And what it was called Get to the Point, and the participants, I think there should have been 8, but one of them wasn't able to come. So the 7 participants had to create a slideshow with not very many words, more pictures really, of 20 slides, and prepare a talk where they spoke to each of the slides for 15 seconds. And the idea was that by the end of that time, which ended up being 5 minutes, that ended up being 5 minutes, they would have got to the point. They would have made some kind of point in their talk. And the talks were absolutely brilliant. But after, I can't remember if it was right at the beginning. I think it was right at the beginning that the host said, how about what I've got for the end is I've got a random slide challenge, which is where somebody can get up and there will be 10 slides, not 20 like the prepared speakers, 10 slides and 15 seconds for each slide. So therefore in 2.5 minutes to have got to some kind of point. And me being me, shot my hand short up. He said, any volunteers? And I was there almost before he'd got his words out, which is kind of how I roll. It's kind of how I've always rolled, really, in things like that. Now, after I'm going to go forward in time to, I actually loved doing the talk. It was such fun. And I got a few laughs, which is always a bonus to me. But at the end of the talk, somebody said to me, "You were absolutely fearless." And I thought, how interesting that is how I was perceived, that I was fearless, that I did not experience any fear at all. Because what that person had seen, they'd seen my hand shoot up, because that's what my hand did. There was no thought involved, really. The hand went up. Oh, I want to do that. They saw me get up and deliver a relatively amusing talk with a sprinkling of confidence. And they didn't see my fear, which was there. So what that person didn't see was the voice that kept coming into my head saying, you can't do this. What are you doing? Like, what if you can't think of what to say? What if you don't understand the pictures and you look really stupid? What if you freeze and no words come out? And what if you panic? Or what if you need a wee in the middle? Or literally, those are some of the examples of some of the thoughts that came into my head. And the feelings came with them, of course, because that's how it works, doesn't it? We feel our thinking. So the feelings were, I remember one client once who struggled with anxiety, and she called them angry butterflies. And that's what I had. I had angry butterflies, that kind of fizzing in my stomach. Pretty much a lot of the time from when I volunteered to when I actually got up. Now, it came and went because mainly because the speakers I was listening to were absolutely brilliant. And I was highly entertained by them. So I was mostly focused on them. And then I guess after each one finished and I thought, oh, it's getting close to my turn, then those feelings kind of came back again, the fearful feelings, that's what they were. And when it was only after I'd done the talk and that man said to me that I looked fearless, that was ace, because what that allowed me to see was how much my relationship with fear, with that feeling, the angry butterflies, the heart pounding, which is, my heart was pounding by the time I got up, to do my talk. My heart was pounding in my chest. But what I've seen is that, and I keep saying this to people with slight bemusement really, don't really care how I feel. Less and less I care how I feel. And that is not because I've just gone, right, it's the thing to not care how you feel. That's the thing to do. I shall do that. I shall be the person who, and I shall do the doing of not caring how I feel. It has happened because my understanding of what a feeling is has changed. Like everybody else, I used to think a feeling was giving me information about things like how I was doing, or what the outside world was about, or what I was about to do was going to hurt me in some way, or that there was something wrong with me. Like I used to have all these different interpretations of feelings, probably going from earlier on in life, the outside world creates the feeling, so it must be, oh, getting up and doing a talk is too much because it's a scary thing. If I don't do it, I won't experience the feelings. Right through to more recently, but not so much now, the sense that, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I've got these horrible feelings. I shouldn't be having them. And now I don't care, because a feeling is a piece of information. And it's taken a little while, but now I understand that a feeling is a piece of information. Then why would that stop me doing something? Because the information it is it's just letting me know what's going on with my thinking. If I've got an angry butterfly feeling, as I love it called that, an anxious feeling, a nervous feeling, well, that's just letting me know I've got some anxious, nervous thinking about the thing I'm about to. Not that the thing itself is creating that, but in that moment, I've got a little bit of ooh, and I was aware of some of those thoughts because I don't really care about them either. They're not me either. You know, this talk's not caring how you feel, but here I go again, changing the title halfway through, really, which is, you know, not caring how you feel or think, because neither of those things are real, and neither of them are really about who you really are. They are passing, transient things. It's like saying, and I heard this beautifully expressed by Amy Johnson, I'm going to probably misquote her completely, but she kind of said it's like the sky being up there going, oh God, you know, there's some clouds today, you know, I need to do something about that. Well, the sky doesn't care that there's clouds. The sky just sits there with the sun. They're having their own little party, doing their thing, and the clouds and the weather and the stuff that's happening lower down, it is just passing. It's passing across the sky, and the sky doesn't try to do anything about that. It really doesn't. It just sits there, and it's being the sky, being the sky. And your light, you know, the light that you really are, is always there underneath all that thinking and feeling, because all that thinking and feeling is just transient, something that's passing through you. And it's not like, this is never about what to do. It's about what you see. When you see these things about thoughts and feelings, it just becomes natural to take them less seriously. And that wasn't how I used to relate to them. I absolutely used to want to feel a certain way more of the time. I would battle to try and make myself feel a different way to how I was feeling in any moment, really. That was a job for me to do, I saw. Whatever I was feeling, I needed to do something about that. But now I don't care. And so when somebody sees my behavior and sees it as fearless, it isn't fearless. It's that fear is just some thoughts and feelings I don't take seriously. And the other thing that comes to mind as part of that is that I now fundamentally know, because I mean, even earlier in the evening, I experienced that because my hand went up really fast when there was, somebody to volunteer for something. I mean, I do kind of volunteer for things and then go, what have I done? But you know, there's this body, and there's this energy that drives this body, and it can do things no matter what I'm thinking and feeling. And I suspect a lot of the speakers last night experienced that too. That, you know, a lot of them had clearly practiced a lot, and they were very polished and very good. Some less so, but they were all brilliant. It was all very, very funny. And but I suspected all of them on some level experienced some nervousness and some fear, but they got up and did the thing anyway, because they kind of were at the level where they knew they weren't going to die, you know, by getting up and doing it. And that's because your thinking knows nothing about what you're capable of, and neither do your feelings, because the two are inextricably linked, of course. Your feelings are never telling you about what you can and can't do in the world, and neither is your thinking. And when you see that, you do become, I suppose, what everybody else would interpret as fearless. But you're not fearless. You're fear ignoring, maybe. I don't know. Because the fear was there for me, but it didn't stop me. And it didn't show up big enough for other people to see it. So it turns out that once we don't care how we feel, life has a lot more ease. And that's what I'm noticing as part of this, is that, and there's less to do, because I don't have to manage my feelings, and I don't have to manage my thoughts. I don't have to do anything about them. I can just carry on with my life. And I highly recommend it. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to hope you can begin to see some of that too. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.